All right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Um, Gonna go ahead and get ready to get started in a few. Give some folks some time to jump on my second live for our 30-day challenge uh, with my group of content creators. We're all encouraging one another to go live for the next 30 days every day um, to just impart information and our experiences to our community. Um, and so everybody has a gift and a talent uh, and experiences that they can share and be a blessing and to help others. And so that's what this is all about with my group of newly content creators. Some people are not totally new. Some people are getting back started again, and the fire is lit for them to get back going. A lot of us are new first-time content creators um, on YouTube and some other social media outlets and platforms. So my platform, something near and dear to my heart, is football recruiting. And not just, I just want to also reiterate that it's not just for football. What I'm sharing is for any sport, any sport. Um, so I just want to welcome those who will be joining me shortly here on this live with Love the Game 24/7. I'll just give it a few more minutes to see who's going to be joining me again this evening. Get my lighting straight here. See if that lighting is helping out. All right, good evening, good evening. We'll be getting started here in a couple of minutes. Give some folks some time to hop on. Appreciate you joining me this evening. Definitely won't be as long this evening, maybe 30, 45 minutes tonight. But we have some good discussion, good sharing, some information on some athletic recruiting. So let's just give it just a couple of more minutes, a few more minutes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Coach Smith back with you this evening again for my second time around with this great opportunity to go live on YouTube. And so we'll just give it just another minute or so, then I'll get started. But I want to just thank you and appreciate you for joining me this evening. Be sure to tell all those you know who has a young person, middle school age to high school, that has a desire to play college sports. I appreciate it very much if you can share it with those you know. All right, all right, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started this evening, and I wanted to once again welcome all those who are joining me again this evening with Love the Game 24/7 Sports, and getting some valuable information about um, athletic recruiting process. I'm going to talk a lot about football mainly because that's where I come from for the most part with my experience in football and some with track because I did do track in college as well and got some partial track scholarship money my initial first year in college. Um, and so this evening, just want to take some time and kind of just maybe just go over just a little bit of my concept, the 6 steps method to athletic recruiting that anybody can use for any sport that they participate in, and so this is not just for football. Once again, this is for any sport. And if you didn't get to see the chat or last night on YouTube live that I did, please go out to my YouTube live link that you're on now, and hello, Blue Hour Productions. Appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much. Going live again on our 30-day challenge. This is my second night in a row getting started, and so I was just reiterating that if you didn't get a chance last night to see my first live on explaining the 6 steps method to athletic recruiting, you can go back and view that. I appreciate it if you would. And also today, on my Facebook and I think Instagram, I shared my ebook that I put out there. You'll be able to get that free ebook, just a little brief ebook on leveraging summer sports camps at the colleges and universities, and using that as part of this process of being recruited for whatever sport you're participating in that you desire to play college sports for. And so I shared that late this morning. I put it out there for those who were with me last night and those who got the message. And you can go back out to my Facebook, Love the Game 24/7, and you'll be able to see it shared on my Facebook page, that ebook. And we'll talk a little bit about it tonight. I'm going to go over that in a little bit tonight. I'm going to go over the D.R.I.V.E.N concept, which is my 6-step method and concept about athletic recruiting that parents and student athletes need to utilize to help them achieve multiple athletic scholarship offers. That's what this is. Love the Game 24/7 Sports Talk is all about. Trying to educate and coach parents and their student athletes, their young men and their young ladies, about how to utilize my 6-step method. And there's a lot of other things that go along with that. And I want you to join my page on Facebook and subscribe to me here on YouTube as well as you're listening in, and be sure to share that with as many people as you know, that are in sports, that they love the game. And that's my whole point about that, is loving the game and appreciating what it can do for you, whatever sport you're playing. And so tonight, I just want to share and just go over. Over the next several nights, I'm gonna go over each letter. The next several 6 evenings, since we have a 30-day challenge, I'm gonna use that to go back over each letter in my D.R.I.V.E.N acronym for athletic recruiting. And so that first letter that I shared last night about the D.R.I.V.E.N 6-step method for athletic recruiting was, you have to be dedicated, you have to be determined, and you have to have a drive. You got to be driven, about whatever sport it is that you enjoy, that you love. It may be more than one sport, but that D stands for you got to be dedicated. I went over all this last night. Go back and look at the YouTube link from last night, but I'm just going to go over the first letter tonight and just talk to you about, how you got to put forth that effort and be dedicated, and be honed in and focused on being the best student athlete you can be in whatever sport it is that you participate in, that you desire to get a scholarship in. You got to be dedicated getting in the weight room. You got to have a plan. And part of what I'm going to be talking about with Love the Game 247 Sports, we're going to be talking about all that, about how you should be lifting, some different plans that you should be doing, things that I utilize personally and that I've helped a lot of young men and even some young ladies when I coached track in high school as well. But it's a lot of things that are going to be very helpful to you and your student athlete in pursuing their dream of playing at the next level in college. And so you got to be determined, you got to be dedicated, and you got to be driven. You got to have a drive. Okay. You got to take some personal, as a student athlete, young person, you got to take some personal, responsibility, to fulfill that dream, as well as your parents, but definitely you as a student athlete, you got to have that determination, that inner drive that you got to develop. And I want to be able to go alongside you and your parents to help you develop that, but it got to be something that you desire, because you have this, goal, you have this dream that you want to play the next level, and you can make it happen. It is possible, but it's going to take your part. It's going to take you having some skin in the game, as a student athlete, and dedicating yourself and giving yourself, putting the time in that you need to put towards it, really, having your schedule and sticking to it, because of the end result, because of what you are going to be learning through Love the Game 24/7, and you put these concepts to work, for real, you put these concepts to work, it's going to pay for you in the end, when that signing day comes up, when you're that senior, that rising senior, and you have multiple options sitting in front of you on the table, and it's going to be a tough decision. And one thing that's, you got to remember why you got to be determined and why you got to be dedicated and why you got to have drive, is because everything is not going to always go the way you want it. And I'm telling you from personal experience, not, just for myself, but also my son who's playing pro football right now, even him in the NFL right now, everything may not go the way you want it. He's playing at the ultimate level right now in the NFL, my oldest son. And there's still some things that don't always go the way you want them to go. But, you got to learn how to appreciate it and still put that dedication, have that determination, and still have that drive. Even when you get to the ultimate level that you want to reach, it still takes, because you've done it at a young age, it would be natural for you to just continue to do that. And, like I said, you're going to have some successes, you're going to have some failures, but because that D in my driven concept, I'll keep repeating it because it's important. And so I just wanted to share that, that you got to just have some personal responsibility. You got to take some of that, and your parents got to be there to help. I know there's some single moms, there's some single dads, there's, both mom and dad, so it doesn't matter, where I'm coming alongside and want to help coach both parents and student athletes. And, and this is what I would expect, and if there's any questions or anything like that that'll come up, I want you to join my group, join Love the Game 247 on Facebook, and there'll be a lot more things I'll be putting out there for you to be a part of. It's coming. There's some things I'm just working on and coming and organizing, and there are going to be some big things and some exciting things. Part of what I'm going to do is probably have my son and a couple other young men that I know that are playing at the next level in the NFL. My plan is to have them on as a guest speaker so they can share with you, how they had to deal with me, but they would tell you the things that they had to do and why they've been able to make it where they are. They've reached the ultimate goal of being in the NFL for where they want to be. And it still takes that same desire, even when things don't always go right. And so there's a lot of exciting things that I'm planning, to have some of these guys be on here. Actually, like I said, my son, and actually I call all of them my son, they're my spiritual sons. And God dropped this in my heart. He dropped that concept driven in my heart to share, to be a blessing to this community that are these young people in junior high and high school that have this desire. I just tell you, recently I had two of my nephews come up from Florida, never flew on a plane before. And I had my nieces, these are my two nieces' children. So these are my great nephews that I had up here. I took them to Duke, um, NC State, and Wake Forest to a football camp up here in North Carolina, where I live now, since I relocated from Florida 2 years ago. And um, and so as I segue into the ebook that I have out there on Facebook about how you leverage summer camps, to help you in your athletic recruiting process. You got to start doing these things if you haven't. And I just want to share that I just had my two nephews up here recently. One's going to the ninth grade, and one's going to he's a rising junior, and he's a pretty good football player. They're both pretty good students as well. And I'm trying to stay on top of them about their desire to want to play college football and follow in both their uncle's footsteps. And right now their cousin who's playing pro football. And so, and as I'm sharing with you, these are the same things that I've shared with them when they were here with me just a month ago, coming up here to football camp and getting them some exposure outside of Florida. Sometimes you got to get outside of your comfort zone. You got to get outside what you're normally used to doing. Like what I'm doing right now, doing YouTube Live. I'm very outside of my comfort zone. But if you want to be great, if you desire to be great and you desire to do great things in your community, in your space where you operate, you can't always keep doing the same things. You got to do something. You got to stretch yourself. And one thing that I've learned over all of this experience that I'm going to be sharing with Love the Game 247 Sports is you got to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you can't learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, it's going to be tough, because I'm telling you right now, I'm outside my comfort zone doing these live chats on YouTube and Facebook and all these different things. But I want to help because I know what I experienced and how hard it was for me to make it and didn't have this information. I wish I would have had this information when I was growing up a lot sooner. I got it late, but I did get it, and it did help me out some. But a lot of things I'm sharing with you, I had to learn the hard way on my own. Didn't have my parents involved, so I'm just telling you how it's important for your parents to be a part of this as well. But once again, discussing the ebook, how you leverage the summer camps. One of the first steps you need to do as a high school student is you need to obtain your Huddle link or whatever. Huddle is a platform for high school students to, a lot of high schools already use it. And I know when I coach high school football, we use Huddle and we help our young student athletes create videos and put things together. And with Huddle, you'll be able to create a link or send your link to a lot of the college recruiters to see your highlights and all those different things that you're doing well on the field or whatever sport you're playing. So you need to be sure you have access to your Huddle. I know a lot of these kids, you kids today are real savvy and know your tech stuff. So a lot of you kids in high school probably already familiar with Huddle with me saying this right now. And some of you already probably know that you have your Huddle link and you need to take some time and spend some time, not always on those video games. You need to spend some time on your Huddle video so it can help you with your recruiting process. So be sure you obtain your Huddle link from your high school coach, so you can learn how to, put some of that stuff together. We did that at our high school. We taught the young men how to go out there and edit and do their own videos and highlights, but we always told them to make sure to let us see it because we know there's a certain thing that these college recruiters are looking for, and so, you have to be able to pass the eye test. A lot of people don't, some of these students don't realize that, you don't want to just send any kind of video. And sometimes you don't always want to send your best video. You might send several different or make several different types of videos because you wanted the coach or recruiter to see where you had a tough game and where you bounce back. You sometimes want to be able to do that where things weren't maybe going that well early in the game, but then later in the game, you made some plays, so sometimes you want to show on your highlight tape, maybe a game that shows that. And then you want to, of course, show games where you really, just, eating it up. And you just, having a very, very good game, whether you want won or loss. It doesn't matter when it comes to you making your Huddle. So be sure you have your Huddle link. Be sure, that you can pass the eye test when you're creating your Huddle, and be sure you pass it through your high school coach who's helping you. or even your parents, you need to sit down and learn this stuff too with your kids, with your student athlete, and look at it. Because one thing I told you, well, I share with my sons when they played football, and especially my oldest son who wanted to go to the next level in college and play. When that coach look at that video, he needs to see a difference. He needs to see you playing at another speed than everybody else. He needs to see those recruiters, or whatever sport, volleyball, soccer, I don't care what it is. When those coaches look at that, when they look at that huddle link and they watch your video, it needs to be a distinct difference from you, and whether it's your teammates or your opponent that you're playing. They need to be able to look and see that you play at a different speed. You play at a different mindset because you took time to be dedicated and study your videos and study game tape of your opponent and of yourself to see what you need to improve upon. And so when these coaches look at that, they got to see, man, okay, they got to be impressed. I got to pass this eye test. You need to pass that eye test. And definitely when they come on campus, they need to look at you physically and see that you also pass that eye test. Definitely with the grades and your academics. And if you pass that first hurdle with your grades and your academics and your test scores, and now they're even drawn in more, because the first hurdle is your academics. The next hurdle is, because you got them hooked when you sent your huddle link and all that stuff showing your games. You got them hooked, and you need to make sure you have your grades and your test scores in place as well. But that's why you got to dedicate yourself in the classroom and in your sport. And when you put that huddle link out there, and like I said, I'm a drive that home. It needs to be a distinct difference when I see you play on the field. I need to see you flying on that field in control. You're not just out there running around out of control, not knowing what you're looking like. You're not knowing what you're doing. So be sure you get that huddle link. The next step in how do you use these summer camps is you want to visit, prior to going to summer camps, you want to be sure you visit the football or whatever sport that you're pursuing, their athletic homepage of the different colleges, of your choice, and you need to complete their recruiting questionnaire. Every school, every sport, every program has a questionnaire for you to go on their homepage, their athletic homepage, for that particular sport, for you to fill out that questionnaire and also put your huddle link in there, or whatever system or platform that your high school is using. They want you to put that link in there so they'll be able to go and view your highlight tape. But you need to fill out as many of those questionnaires for those schools that you're interested in. Okay. You need to do that like every week. Parents, when my son was playing, I helped him write an initial letter. I sat down with him and told him, hey, this is what a letter that you need to write as well. In addition to doing the questionnaire, I still tell you to send a letter, or, you get the coach's email. So, yeah, I gave my son homework. You need to go out here on these roster things online and get the coach's email address for your position, the head coach. If you're on offense, you get the OC's email address. If you're on defense, you get the DC's email address. Whatever position you play, you get that position coach's email address. And you fill out as many questionnaires as possible, and you also send a separate letter in addition to doing that questionnaire with your huddle link and with your grades and all those different things and your test scores, if you already have that stuff in place, because you have to pass that eye test, right? You got to pass that eye test. And so, and then, like I said, when you're doing these questionnaires, you'll be able to give them additional information about you as well. And like I said, fill out as many of these as possible. When you're home on the weekends, these are things that I gave my sons to do. Hey, you need to go online and fill out these questionnaires. Dad's not doing all this. You got to put some skin in the game as a student athlete. Okay. Because when when the recruiters initially call, they don't want to talk to mom and dad. They want to be sure that this young man or young woman that they're recruiting is, mature enough to be able to talk to a recruiter, themselves. They definitely gonna want to talk to you because they know they got to be able to sell that program to mom and dad as well. But initially, they're gonna want to talk to the student athlete, and mom and dad need to be right next to you while you're on the phone, coaching you through, some of the conversation. But you need to take some time and fill out as many questionnaires as possible. And then the next step, third step, is once you have completed those questionnaires, a lot of those questionnaires, and adding your huddle link to your completed questionnaires, you should begin searching for camps to go to in the summertime. This should start in the springtime. So in the summertime, you've already done your homework, knowing what camps you want to go to, whether they're in state or out of state. Like I said, I had my nieces. I told them like last year, and my nieces were pretty good about staying in contact with me about, hey, Uncle, you remember you said you were going to have the boys up there for summer camp, and I'm like, yep, and this is what I need you to do. So several months back, we were organizing this, getting flights for them to come up here. I told them, hey, you put skin in the game, Mom, my nieces. I said, hey, you put some skin in the game, and you buy their plane ticket to get up here. I showed them how they can get tickets that weren't expensive. Some the camps only cost you about $55 to maybe $75 a camp. All we need to do is some one-day camps. At a young age, you only need to do about one-day camps. Maybe as you get older and your recruiting level is picking up, you may do 2-day camps. Some of these coaches or these schools that are recruiting you may want you to do 2 days. Because they want to get a real close look at you. But when you're young and you're just starting out middle school and early high school, you only need to do like 1-day camps. Like I said, they're only like $55 to $75 for a 1-day camp. And most of these camps are going to start in maybe late May, June, and they'll probably end sometime in July. And so you want to be sure that you start this process early, and you use these summer camps to get you exposed to these college coaches, for your position, for what side of the ball you play on, whether you're offense or defense or whatever sport you're playing. You got to use these summer camps, to get yourself exposed to who these coaches are. Also, it's going to help your growth. It's going to help you grow and learn as you get older. And like I said, you should be attending as many of these camps as early as middle school and attend every summer. And this will help you determine how you compare with other players, right, in your position, as well as determine what areas of improvement are needed to be prepared to play at the college level. This is what these camps will do. It's going to get you exposure. That's what it's all about. And this helps you to be seen by the college coaches who recruit your area. And you can begin building a relationship with every coach you meet. That's what the goal is for these camps. You got to, and that was part of my driven concept that I gave, and so be sure to go look at this ebook that I'm going over right now about how you leverage the summer camps, because if you don't pass the eye test, if you can't pass the eye test, or when they look at your huddle link and they see you performing, you got to show that you're playing at a whole nother level. You got to show that you're a grown person in this game because you've taken time to dedicate yourself. That's what D means. We're just talking about D tonight. You're dedicated, you're determined, and you're driven, to make an impact for your team, make an impact for yourself as well. And these summer camps, if you get to some of these summer camps, whether you're local, I know some of these things can be expensive. Some of these, depending on where you are in the country, you might be able to drive, to a camp. But parents, you want to definitely get your students involved in some of these summer camps, and be sure they start getting exposed to, because there are kids being recruited all over the world, all over the country. It's not just even your in-state colleges. They're recruiting kids all over the place. And there are kids who are coming from all over the place to these summer camps. And you need to be sure your kid, your student athlete, is getting that same opportunity. But I really like these camps because it gives your student athlete the opportunity, not comparing. I don't like to get into a lot of comparing. You're going to compare somewhat, but it gives the kids the opportunity to see, man, I got some work to do, or, hey, I look pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. You got to have a competition within yourself, compete within yourself to do better. You want to make sure that you do better than what you did the day before. You're not comparing. You shouldn't be going out there saying, oh, I'm trying to do better than so-and-so did yesterday. No, you want to do better. You want to look at yourself and do better than what you did the day before. Every day, look to improve. Every day, look to improve. That should be your goal. I'm looking to improve every time I step out here, because, I want to get myself some exposure to give myself an opportunity to fulfill my dream of getting multiple athletic scholarship offers, because it's possible. It could, like I said, everybody can't go Division 1, but we got Division 1 AA, we got Division 2, we got Division 3, but everybody potentially can get a scholarship. It may not be a full scholarship, but you can get some money to help supplement your education, where it's not hard for your parents to be able to assist with that if you have an ability playing a sport. And so this is very important that I want to share. Go back over the D tonight for driven. I'll go over R the next night, and I and V, E, and N. But if you're joining tonight and it's your first time, be sure to go back and look at my YouTube message from last night. And I hope I'm saying some impactful stuff that keeps your attention when I'm doing these, because I know it can help you. Because like I said, I lived this thing. And everything I learned that I lived, I made sure I used it for my kids and for other kids that I knew, that I coached in Little League football, and helped them, some of those young men, get to college as well, or have opportunities to go to college. I live this thing, and I've kept these things close to heart, because I always said I don't want anybody to have to go through a tough time like I had to go through in trying to get to the college. But I got there, by the grace of God, I got there, and I'm thankful. But God dropped this in my heart, and I want to be sure that I do my part and help others. And so, like I said tonight, this is, go out there and see that ebook on my Facebook. Go back out there on YouTube, and if you didn't get a chance and you're new tonight, go back out there. Go out there on my YouTube link that you're on now, and you can see the message that I gave last night. I'll be back again, but I just want to be sure that you, as parents and student athletes, get this. It's very important that you utilize these concepts. I know they work. I got to the, my ultimate dream of getting the opportunity to play in the NFL. My road was kind of tough. That's okay. God had me go through it for a reason, so I can share with you all today. And the other thing I said, you got to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable by sitting in front of this camera, letting you guys know some valuable information that can help your student athlete fulfill their dream of going and playing at the next level, from high school to college. And if, for, for if they're blessed to get the opportunity to go beyond college, hey, I'm able to help in that area as well, because like I said, I've been there myself and had the opportunity. I had an older brother who had the opportunity that I've learned from watching him. I have an older son right now getting ready to start his fifth season in the NFL. So I believe I have enough experience. I know I have the information that I in me, and that I want to share with you all to help you and help your student athlete get to the next level. So I'm learning, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because this is not totally comfortable for me. I'm just going to be real, but I know I have something to share that can help others, and that's what I want to do. So definitely, you see my email out there, love the 247game@gmail.com. Like I said, there are a lot of great things coming. I'm going to have some guests on here. Or another friend of mine that he coached Sean King, who quarterback for the NFL Tampa Bay Buccaneers home team. He was the offensive coordinator to help this young man reach the heights. And that's Coach John Taylor. He's going to be joining me on some of these as well, as much as possible as I can get him. I'm going to have some other folks I'm going to invite on here. Definitely have my son who's playing in the NFL, and all my sons that I've helped be a part of and help get to the next level. I'm going to get those guys on here to get them to share about their experience, and what they went through to be where they are, because I know, I tell you like this, they didn't get there just because of me. Because one thing I do realize, you have to have some other people as well help you along the way. My son played quarterback. He's not even playing quarterback in the league, but in the NFL, he's playing wide receiver. But I spent money. I invested in him when training at quarterback, and it got him a scholarship. It helped get him a scholarship. But I had to get somebody else who knew a little bit more than me, to help him as a quarterback to get notice, and I was willing to, invest and put some skin in the game to help my son, to be where he is, and also sharing this information with other parents, about their kids or whatever position. If you need some additional help, there are people out there, some good people out there that won't try to break the bank on you, that can help you, and help your student athlete. And you need to look and invest in it. And if you want to run some things by me, I'll be here as a resource. But like I said, I'm putting together some webinars. I'm putting together another level of this thing for people who really want to be a part of this and get some help, and get some coaching from Coach Smith on this recruiting process. I'll be sharing more and more as we get through this 30-day challenge with our content creator group, that we're supporting one another and pushing one another. So I appreciate you guys being on here tonight. I don't know if you had any questions or anything, but I just definitely appreciate it. I'll take a few minutes. I don't want to be too long tonight, about 45 minutes at the most tonight. But like I said, I'll be on here for 30 days, every day, sharing something, about this recruiting process, my driven 6-step method that I think is definitely would be a big help to a lot of people. And so for you folks who joined tonight, I appreciate it. I look forward to you all getting back on and subscribing. I think there should be a subscribe button down there on the left as you're looking at this live. And I appreciate it if you subscribe and share this information with those who have a student athlete. I got a lot of great information, a lot more things we're going to be doing throughout this year. And I'm excited starting to be a content creator in the business of athletic recruiting for high school students to get to the next level. But like I said, I'm going to be working with 7th grade through 12th grade. Okay, 7th through 12th grade, middle school kids through high school is what I'm looking to work with, those parents and those student athletes. So get the word out, share my link, subscribe, follow me on all the social media, IG, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all that great stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. But yes, thank you, and so I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening, and I appreciate you joining. Love the game 24/7. You gotta love it 24/7, and you gotta be dedicated. You gotta be determined, and you gotta keep that drive going, okay, and keep that dream of playing at the college level a reality, because it is a very real reality. It can happen. It will happen. As long as you have me in your corner, we're going to do everything we can. And I'm going to show you how to help your dream come true. That's what I'm all about. I want your dreams to come true of playing at the next level. And but once again, I appreciate you guys being a part tonight. All right. Thank you from Coach Smith and from Love the Game 24/7 Sports Talk. And I look forward to seeing you during this 30-day challenge. This is day 2, so I got a lot more days to put together. And I also will have some times where I'll open up to some questions and try to answer some questions. Yeah, how you doing? All right. So if nobody doesn't have any question or anything right now, we'll get ready to sign off. And I appreciate you guys. And peace out.